What's up, guys? S2H back in action once again, where I posed the question to Habs fans on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube. I said, calling all Habs fans, trade or no trade is returning for a 4-part series. What is one trade that you want to see the Habs make this offseason? Comments may get featured in my video, where I will give my yes or no answer to your trade proposals with an explanation as to why I said yes or no to that trade proposal. Up first, ABS on Facebook says KK Paling, a 2020 first round pick, a 2021 first round pick for Barkov from the Florida Panthers. To this one, I'm going to have to say yes. As much as I love KK, I really don't feel he will be as dominant of a player as what Barkov is right now in his career. Paling, I don't see fitting well for Montreal. I don't see where he fits in the center position. At best, he will be a depth center in Montreal, so it could be good for this kid's future to get him a move out of Montreal. And all around, I see this being a good fit for the Montreal Canadiens. They can afford to pay the 2 first-round picks because their prospect pool is stacked, and to bring in a number 1 center who will dominate with size, produce a point a game, help Montreal's power play, it's far worth it in my opinion. Up next we have Jeff Head. He says Stamkos for Caulfield, Paling, Fleury, and a first and a second round pick. So I'm assuming he means this year's first round pick. And to this one, I regretfully had to say no, for a multitude of reasons. I love Stamkos. He is an elite top 10 player in the league, when healthy, at least in my opinion he is. He has 832 points and 420 goals, over 420 goals, in just over 800 games played in his career. But he has been injury prone as of late, and recently he just got hurt again, only playing 2 minutes in his one playoff game he returned for, even though he did score a goal and was electric in the 2 minutes he did play. And at 30 years old, with 4 years left on his contract, at $8.5 million cap hit, I really don't see how it makes financial sense for the Montreal Canadiens. With a flat cap, taking on a huge deal, you would need to move out a big contract like a Max Domi or a Jonathan Drouin to supplement that deal. Also, I love Cole Caulfield. To trade a prospect that good with that kind of goal-scoring ability could really haunt the Habs in the future. If they trade Cole Caulfield and he goes on to be a 40-goal scorer, and Stamkos only plays 4 years in Montreal, fizzles out at the end of his career in Montreal, it really won't be worth it for the Habs. It could hurt them in the future for sure. Up next, once again from Jeff Head on Facebook this time, he says Domi for Dustin Brown. So Max Domi from the Montreal Canadiens for Dustin Brown from the LA Kings. As much as I like Dustin Brown, if this was 2 years ago, I would have definitely said yes to this trade because Dustin Brown had 61 points 2 years ago. He looked really good for LA. But right now, he's an older player. He's at the latter end of his career. And I feel Montreal can get a lot more from Max Domi than just Dustin Brown. Domi is a younger, faster, more grittier version of Dustin Brown. He can play the center and the right wing, and he produces more points. He's more useful to a team as a center, as where Dustin Brown plays primarily on the right wing. So I don't see that being a good trade for the Montreal Canadiens. I really do feel they can get more for Max Domi. Up next from David Arthur on YouTube, he says, to Detroit, Domi, and Philip Deneau for Anthony Mantha. He kind of butchered the spelling, but I know what he meant there. To this one, it should be a surprise to nobody who watches this channel. I'm going to have to say yes for sure. Now, in order for Montreal to get Mantha, they would have to be sure that he would sign, but let's just say hypothetically that he does. To this trade, it's definitely a huge yes. I love Deneau and I love Max Domi, and I feel if they both get traded, Montreal would definitely have to go out and find themselves a depth center, as well as get Mantha for them, as well as get Mantha to a reasonable cap hit, a reasonable signing. If you do sign him, get him to a reasonable dollar, but it's well worth it to get Anthony Mantha. He does have some health issues currently. He did struggle a bit last year with health issues. Sorry guys, I'm butchering this one, but he is young, big, fast, and has all the offensive tools to be a superstar in the league someday. For Montreal to get him would be a massive upgrade to their top 6 forward core. It would help their power play. It would bring in size. It would bring in an electric player, a guy who I think would fit well with the Montreal Canadiens. And all in all, I see it being a great trade for the Montreal Canadiens. They would definitely have to get a depth center. Losing Philip Deneau and Max Domi, that definitely hurts them. It would be a lot of relying on Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Nick Suzuki, but I do feel it could benefit the Habs for sure. Up next from Talking Habs, he says Ryan Paling, Noah Jolson, a 2020 first round pick, a 2020 second round pick to Tampa Bay for Steven Stamkos. It would free up the cap space Tampa Bay needs to sign Sergachev and others, and Stamkos can play right wing in Montreal and extend his career a few years. And I definitely see Rick's point there, but I feel Stamkos has some miles on him. He's had some injury issues. I don't know if he's going to play till he's 35, 36. He's already done a lot in his NHL career, and if he wins a Stanley Cup, what else does he have to prove? So really, as much as I feel this trade would definitely be an absolute steal for Montreal for what they're paying for Stamkos, I would have to say no. Stamkos is a great player, but at $8.5 million per year, in Montreal's current cap situation, I feel this deal would handcuff them in the future if they had to sign guys like KK, Suzuki, Romanov. So for that reason, financially, I think the Habs would have to say no to that trade. Up next from Aldemone on Facebook, he says, Petry to Detroit for Anthony Mantha, and then the Habs signed Alex Pietrangelo from St. Louis. Now, given the fact that Jeff Petry just signed a 4-year deal with Montreal, this is highly unlikely, but if it were to be an option, I would love to see Montreal do this. Sure, it would cost a few extra million in cap to ink Mantha and Pietrangelo, but Mantha would bolster the top six and power play. Petro would be a dominating force on the blue line who would also bolster the power play. I would love to see this happen. And in order to supplement the extra cap hit that they would bring on by signing these players, I think they would definitely have to trade Domi or trade Drouin for sure. And the last trade, last but not least, Paul B on Twitter says Alex Killorn for Artturi Lehkonen and a 3rd round pick. To this one, it's an absolute no-brainer. If you guys seen the game last night for Tampa Bay, you've seen what kind of player Alex Killorn is. It's an absolute yes. Killorn is a major upgrade on Lehkonen. He would definitely fit well with the Montreal Canadiens on the left wing. He would upgrade their top 6 core, and overall, they're getting the Killorn for cheap if that's all they're paying for him. So it's a huge yes to that trade. A absolute massive yes. Would love to see Killorn in Montreal. He brings experience. He's been in the league for a while, and I overall like his game. So anyways, guys, thank you for the trades. Thank you for viewing. If you can, leave a like, comment, and of course, have a great day. This is S2H.